welcome everyone to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host Mark. Welcome back to the news hour. So we're getting there. It's almost middle August at this point. Looking at the 8/16 date, it's almost exactly middle of August. So it's getting time. I think there's a couple big games coming out soon. Got some getting to the nitty gritty. I'm really excited. Hope you guys are as well. I don't know. Don't think there's anything outside of just getting right into what I've been playing. So haven't been playing much. Last week has really been taken up by a couple of games. Essentially, just to tell you how the schedule will go this week and next week in terms of my life. So I record this on Fridays. We have Persona Saturday, Nier Sunday, and then Donkey Kong Monday. Then I had TC Tam, They Called Us a Movie, my other podcast, on Tuesday. And we had D&D Wednesday, and then I took my break on Thursday from doing anything related. So in that meantime, outside of cleaning my apartment and just generally not being a slob and dirty person, I was able to only really get 2 things in. So this might be a little shorter than usual. Maybe the whole podcast will be shorter. There wasn't much news either that we can really dig into. But so first off, we'll start off NCAA. So one of the things, I hope it gets better. I hope there's another patch coming. In the sense that there's a couple of bugs that crept up with the last patch, which is really weird. I have a couple things where 2 of my players, when they have, they do this thing where they go off. Excuse me, that came from out of nowhere. I haven't yawned all night. They do something great, or they get a significant number of tackles, or for my quarterback, for example, throws over 3,000 yards, so it will zoom away and show just him doing a little fist pump thing or something, and then the thing graphic will come up and tell you what the thing was. So every time it's cut to him and my middle linebacker, guy on defense, it will show just a jersey with nobody in it in the little corner here, like the nameplate, no name, and just the accomplishment. And that's it. Just for those 2 players. Everybody else gets everything. It's just those 2 guys. And I've also had a couple of weird bugs that I had not had before. So I hope their patches aren't breaking things. I wish I could see if they're saying anything about it. But I had one where I did a play I always do with the wide receiver. Running across, and I gave him the ball, and then when I made a juke to avoid a defender, all of a sudden the whistle blew and they ruled me down. I did not get tackled, I did not get touched. And then there was another point where there was a fumble. The other team picked it up, and as soon as they picked it up, they ruled it as the guy was down when he was not. And then also on a punt return, a ball bounced. Returner grabbed it. The returner might have called for fair catch, but another player on the field grabbed the bounce, and it whistled it dead. So, looks like there's some little minor things. It's funny that just as Madden comes out, all these bugs start showing up. So, I conspiracy theory on my part that they want people to start going over to Madden. But I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I'm currently the head coach at North Carolina. Go Tar Heels. And we're about to enter the playoffs, so it should be fun. Went undefeated in the regular season in my second year. So we'll see how that goes. Recruiting's still great. I got one of the best recruiting classes, and all that stuff's so fun. I see the only people complaining about it, outside of the ones that are getting kind of annoyed about the bugs that I had mentioned earlier. They're more an annoyance than actually a game ender for me. Are people that are trying to play the Ultimate Team or trying to play the game like Madden, and not how you're supposed to play the NCAA, where you're supposed to get into the single-player stuff like Road to Glory and Dynasty and stuff like that. Hello, Game Ball Cat. Um, so, they're not playing the game correctly and complaining about it, which isn't surprising for a lot of gamers nowadays. Um, so, yeah, just you're gonna get updates uh, going forward. If there are things to update, I'll just tell you I'm playing it if nothing has really changed. But this update breaking things with bugs and stuff like that, I thought was enough to at least worthy to end up on the podcast here for just just informational. So still a great game, still highly recommend it. Next up, the only other game I played, and I didn't play much of it, and before we get into the stuff I streamed, I decided for some odd reason to load up Modern Warfare 3's campaign, which I never played, and I'm apparently halfway through after playing it for like 2.5 hours. Sorry, Game Ball Cat needs some attention. It is very underwhelming for even a Call of Duty campaign. Like there's a certain level with Call of Duty campaign. You're like, okay, set piece, really ridiculous world event happens, crazy villain. There's some backstabbing. Some enemies become friends and friends become enemies. Things happen out of nowhere. I think we figured out somebody turned on us last time, and part of the Shadow government, or I forget what they're called, Shadow Company, I think it's called, or whatever. So stuff like that happens. Like Modern Warfare 2 campaign was fairly good. Like those twists didn't really, seem terrible or anything like that. So that was perfectly fine. Hello, Night Duck. So I loaded up 3. I knew it was terrible. I heard it was terrible. I know it's only 5 hours, so I was like, what the hell? I'll try a little bit of it. So essentially, the first couple missions just really feel like you're playing Warzone, to be 100% honest with you. You're going into rooms, and there are orange chests there that open up that have the guns that you're unlocking, and there's reloading everything, just about everywhere. I mean, I'm playing on the easies, but that might be why the ammo stock is everywhere. But yeah, everything is set up just like Warzone is, essentially. It's not even like it's a campaign. I'm talking about Modern Warfare 3, the last one, not the new one. I don't know how that one's going to be. They're usually a lot better at campaigns, the Black Ops people. But this Modern Warfare 3 one is terrible. It's basically just advertising for Warzone, 100% is what this campaign is. You're unlocking weapons, you're unlocking mods, you're, by opening chests, you're, it's not, but the bad part is that it doesn't play like Warzone. It plays like a Call of Duty campaign. But they just forgot to take the Warzone stuff out of it. It's really weird. And the story's terrible so far. Makarov, I forget how you say his name, but gets released from prison. I don't care about spoiling this for everybody because it's terrible and it's only 5 hours if you want to enjoy it. But you open up, they do the shock thing where you find out that you were actually playing the bad guys in the first mission, and you're helping Commander Makarov get out of prison. And that's the big reveal, is that you're actually helping him out. And then you go and the next mission is Farah, and you're trying to collect nuclear weapons, I think, for your country. Yeah, I think the fake Middle Eastern country that is in this game, because they didn't want to put a real one in. And then she all of a sudden out of nowhere, oops, somebody's stealing the missiles. And then you just go and do that, and that's gone. And then they do the shock thing of Makarov kills his second in command because he didn't get to him fast enough or some bullshit. And it's just really because of the 5 hour time frame. I know most of them are like 8 to 10 hours. I think Black Ops are usually like 8 to 10. Even the hour 2 to 3, like, less that this is, makes everything seem rushed. Like, there's no development, there's no anything in terms of... I'm not looking for, like, Godfather, like, Oscar-winning movie kind of character development, but it's really just bang, 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 bang so far. Hitting all the major points, and, you know, I don't know what this next mission I'm on is, but it doesn't seem great. I might just finish it because I'm a completionist and a completionist and a masochist. But it's not great if you had any curiosity about it. If you have Game Pass, it's free. If you want to try it out and tell me to go fuck myself, feel free. But I'm not totally digging it. I used to pull... hey, thank you. I didn't even notice it was the affiliate anniversary. Thank you so much, Night Duck. Over on our Twitch channel for those of you listening to the podcast. Yep, it is no Venom. That is true. But yeah, I used to pull all-nighters to finish out Call of Duty campaigns because I got so engrossed in the story. And I essentially... Jonathan, you can always tell me to go fuck myself. I had all afternoon. It was literally like 1 in the afternoon on a Saturday. And I had the rest of the day to finish that campaign because I had finished my cleaning in the morning. I do laundry on Sundays. So I'm like, I have about 7 hours until Persona. And I could have finished that campaign in that day. And I just got about 2 hours in and was just like, meh. What else do I have? And I just played college football for the next 5 hours. So, yeah. I'll probably finish it, and I'll give you the updated stuff next week. Because I'll push through it this weekend. But, yeah. It lives up to the billing. I will say that much. Alright, so on to what we played. I just want to start off with Donkey Kong Country. I will say, I do like that game. I like it a whole lot. It is a pretty good video game. But it is also very much a mid-90s video game in how there aren't many of the normal trappings of a game in terms of quality of life for it. And I say that as I went through, I think it's 5 levels I got through. 1 level away from being able to fly back and save. Or no, Candy was next, so I would have been able to save. So the whole hour we spend getting these 5 levels, which I should get through them a little bit faster because I kind of know them now when we play tonight. If you're listening to this on the podcast, Monday if you're live on Twitch here. But we started all the way back at the beginning. I did learn a trick to gather lives. I want to see if it works for one of the levels to just keep constantly, you sacrifice 2 lives and you get like 6 back. So you can like plus 4. And even sometimes plus 5 because you pick up the free life with the banana. So, yeah, see if that works. Maybe give myself a really high life cushion for those last couple levels to get the candy. But, yeah, it was fun. This is probably the most visually appealing level so far with how the blizzard comes, the snow. I really hate the ice. The ice level part of it, the slipping and sliding, I really hate it because I'm terrible as it is, being confident and not anxious about where to jump, and I get nervous when I land, and if I push the button too much the wrong way, I slide right off. And so that's not helping, so I can't wait to get out of this level, or this world. So, but I'm having a ton of fun with it. I wouldn't keep doing it every week if I wasn't, and it leads to a lot of good moments of if Night Duck is watching. He can laugh at me. I can frustrate Tom. Fun had by all. So yeah, we'll be playing that again on Monday. Persona, that is a game that I am super, 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 super excited for. We're basically at the end game. I'm not going to spoil much. We're in the final month. Basically, we're 9th level on our... Every Persona game, I think I've said this a bunch, but I like to repeat for any new viewers that come in. Every time, just in case if there's new listeners or viewers when I talk about Persona. Um, Persona has one. You have like I think it's 12. Like socialites. I think it's 12. It might be more. I think it's 12. I think it's the 12 major arcana. In the tarot that they do. But there's always one that is connected to your team, which is basically a good way to tell how far into the game you are. So, like, if you're at level 5 of 10, you know you're about halfway through the game. Sometimes it goes faster, sometimes it goes slower in terms of how long it takes to, build up. Right now we're at 9 of 10. So, even though I pretty much been playing Persona 4 and 5, understand that they usually don't go past the month we're currently in. For story purposes, they may do something that happens a couple months later, just because it's relationships. But, we're definitely in the end game here. We're going to fight Mother Nature, I believe. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but if you've played enough Persona games, you fight God at some point. And I guess this is Mother Nature, not God. I don't know. We'll find out. I might be wrong. I might even be spoiling anything. It might be God. But I think the one thing I want to get is either somebody make a meme or a t-shirt that just says, what's the kid's name? I forget his name. And it just says, shut up, whatever that kid's name is. The little kid that we are ignoring because he got one of our characters killed. So, not telling you which character that was. This guy. Yeah, I just want t-shirts or at least a meme of a shut up. Shut up Ken. Ken is his name. Shut up Ken. And yeah, so hopefully we don't need him because he is currently 20 levels below everyone else. So we will keep a save right before, like, the last time I can go into grind. Just in case. Because what this game has is a great system for grinding. Which I like. It's random. I might need to grind for, like, 3 hours. But it has a system where you open these boxes with what's called Twilight Fragments. And at a random one, it might not be random. I might be able to look it up to know how many boxes it is. But when you open up one, which seems completely random to me, all of a sudden a clock falls. You can go in the clock, and then you can level up any character to your level, to your main character's level. So, worst case scenario, I make a save, make 2 saves. Make one, like, right before the last time I think we'll go in Tartarus, which is why I'm doing, like, the every so often save. And doing different levels of save. The rewind feature will help with this as well. And then if I have to, I will go into Tartarus just forever and hopefully don't run into the Reaper. And get him up to the level I'm at. Just so I can, have him be on equal footing with me. But I'm just hoping that you don't have to use him. So that is where we're at with that. But I'm very, very excited. For those of you watching live on Twitch, that is tomorrow. I'm trying to catch up on all the videos on YouTube so everybody can get up to date that is not able to watch live. I think I'm up to video 20 or 21 up there. I might take most of the day tomorrow to get the rest up instead of playing games, just to kind of get that settled. Get that and the Donkey Kong Country episodes up. I think that's all I'm behind. I think I gotta get Nier up. But yeah, those two. The Personas take the longest. I probably could just do the whole schedule, all of Donkey Kong Country, and then get Persona after that. So yeah, that's where we're at with Persona, and then Nier, as I mentioned, which is our Sunday game. I quite enjoyed the last boss fight we had at, like, I guess it's the amusement park / carnival place. It was a really fun boss fight going around there. It was the first time that, even playing on easy, where they give you a much bigger dodge window, where I started getting hit a lot. So it was good to see that I'm not going to be able to cakewalk through that game. I'm probably going to stay vigilant, which will make it feel like a cakewalk, using the dodge button. But, you know, it's good that if you're not careful and get greedy, you can get destroyed in that game. So, yeah, that was fun. I think the last thing, I learned a very important thing from Night Duck, that each weapon has a story, so you want to upgrade the weapons, all of them, as quickly as possible to get like the full story on certain things. So I'm doing that. I just got back, and I think we ended in like a new location. I don't know how much I'm going to spoil here, if it's even a spoiler, for where we're at. But yeah, we went to a new location that was kind of surprising, from what you have learned throughout the previous portions of the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to that on Sunday. Now that we're knee deep in story, and not just basically tutorial land. So yeah. So that is it. I'd love to hear what you guys are playing. If you want to send it to me on Twitter, X. I say Discord, but I'm really bad at checking Discord. I haven't got notifications up. I don't know if I'm just really bad at it. But if you haven't posted on there, tell me on Twitter. Or come into the chat here and tell me. I know the art channel, gets filled up every so often by Kitty Ashcat, who is turning into a ridiculously good artist. And yeah, I'm trying to edge her into like doing, hey, you like video games, you like anime, why don't you like learn how to, design on a computer, be an artist for like shows and like animes and TV shows and stuff like that. Because that's where you can make the money, not doing the, pen to paper art. And as Night Duck says in the chat, thank you for you're playing .hack Infection right now. Yeah, I've heard of the .hack stuff, and saying it's a very vibes-based piece of media. Yeah, I haven't. I've heard people talk about it. Haven't heard, essentially just in passing. Like, have you seen .hack or hack.hack? Not too much what it's about, but yeah, that'll be cool. Glad everybody is enjoying the games they are playing out there. So without further ado, let's get into the news. Oh, snap! I lost the story. There we go. Awesome, it popped up. So let's start off with Persona 3. For those who don't know the history of actual Persona 3 before Reload, they will most likely not get the female protagonist. People were still holding out hope that they might still add it, but yeah, I don't think it's needed for this. As much as I liked playing, for the little bit I played of the original Persona 3, I think it's Portable. I think that's which one she's at. I played as the female protagonist in the story for a little bit. I think the way they write the other characters, it works better with a male protagonist, especially because from what I played of the other one with the female protagonist, they don't change much outside of just your pronouns and stuff. So, it doesn't really, there's no real change in the story. So, but it's good to get it finally confirmed that they will not do it. But yeah, for those of you, there's a game out there if you do want a female protagonist in this story for you, but it won't be in Reload. Alright, moving on. Um, and in great news, Crafton, the PUBG guys, have bought Tango Gameworks and are working on Hi-Fi Rush stuff, according to them. It looks like they're going to get to around 50 of the 100 former workers. Now, I don't know if they could only fit 50 into what they bought, or if the other 50 had found new jobs, so they couldn't bring them back. So yeah, this is really really good news. I was ecstatic when I heard this news because Hi-Fi Rush, yeah, the other people already had new jobs. That's what I assumed. Um, and Hi-Fi Rush was one of my favorite games of last year. Completely out of nowhere. It's my favorite game to stream on this channel. I wish I would have been into doing the YouTube stuff back then. I don't know if I saved those. I don't think I saved those videos. But that was a really fun time streaming. Shout out to Peppermint. But I'm glad that Tango Gameworks keeps getting to do what it does. Maybe Hi-Fi Rush sequel. Maybe we'll get some Evil Within stuff. Maybe there's a new IP that coming out of nowhere. I mean, Hi-Fi Rush came out of nowhere. These were the Evil Within people. And they, I don't know, were they Ghostwire Tokyo? I don't think they were Ghostwire Tokyo. But, you know, I think this is a good example. I don't know if this will happen everywhere or anything, but this is a good example of if you make a good product, people will want that product. Oh yeah, they did Ghostwire. I thought so. You know, just they made an IP that somebody wanted, and they were able to get bought because of that. And now they get to keep doing their weird shit, and it's awesome. This is probably one of the best gaming news stories of the week. We had a, I don't know if I pulled that story. Oh, yeah, I did. We got one a little bit later on that's a little sad, but not as bad as some of the other layoff stories we've had. But this was really, really good news. I want to point it out. Yeah. Tango Gameworks has been saved. Woohoo! I can't tell you how excited I am by that. Yeah. I didn't even know this was a thing, but when I saw this in the headline, I was like, huh. A GTA VR, I guess? You know, Meta's going to focus on other things. I think it said, like, Behemoth. It's in there. You know, instead of GTA. I don't know exactly how a GTA VR game would work. I guess it could work in that sense. I don't know why San Andreas in particular they chose for VR, but it's not coming out, so it doesn't matter. But it was interesting that they were even focusing on this. But yeah, VR is one of those things that has some great highs in terms of what it can do in technology. You know, I'm thinking of you know, Super Hot, Half-Life Alyx is really good from what I've heard. What's the other one? Beat Saber. It's really good. And yeah, it's just they just can't find the footing. They can't find what makes VR viable. Maybe they will at some point. But right now, it's a lot of things that were thrown at the wall when this first came out. And maybe they're starting to pare down and figuring out what they can and cannot release. You know, but yeah, if you knew about this and were looking forward to GTA San Andreas on VR, I am deeply sorry to report this to you. But yeah, it looks like Meta is, you know, it's okay. Has decided to focus on other stuff. So, yeah. So, in other weird news that is not shocking at all, Fallout London which is the Fallout 4 mod that got delayed because when Fallout 4 got updated, it fucked with a whole bunch of code, and they had to, or whatever, they had to go back in and fix it, and then get back out there. But on GOG, people have downloaded it more than 500,000 times in 24 hours. It's kind of crazy. I am interested in going in and checking this out. I don't know if it's on Xbox or if it's just PC. I'll have to figure that out afterwards. It might say it in here. I haven't had a whole lot of time, as I mentioned, my schedule, if you're listening to the pre-show, to really dive into this, plus the vacations I've been taking. So just PC? Okay. And then I'll have to look at PC. But either way, this is pretty cool. Because one of the questions you always had when playing Fallout was, what is going on in other countries, essentially. And it is interesting to see. It's probably just, I don't say this without playing it, but I don't know if they're going to, tell like a unique thing or have unique properties to it, or if it's just going to be like typical Fallout stuff but just have touches of London in it. But I am definitely going to try it out, so I'm not judging it yet. I'm hoping there's a little bit of uniqueness if they're able to tell the stories in there. I don't know if they just did a mod and didn't put a story in. I don't know exactly how deep the mod is. But ever since I went to London last year, I've been, more into, looking up anything, London mods, and I played Watchdog Legions a lot just to see the one-to-one stuff that I saw physically. Not so much that I came back and was, oh my god, I love London. I loved London before that, but now it's one of those things that now I've visited and seen it with my own eyes. I want to see how they replicate it in the video game. Kind of like The Division with New York, essentially. And other games that have been in cities that I've lived in. I think one of the Homefront games is supposed to be Philadelphia, but they don't really do a good job of portraying it. So, I've always supported the British Empire. The sun never sets on it, Jonathan. So, I am excited to get into this. And updates for you horror fans out there. One of the most unique games, I mean, there's been better ones since then, but for those of you looking to play something during Halloween with friends and family, you could play Cult of the Lamb, the advertisement up there. But Until Dawn is coming to PS5 and PC in October 2024, and of course the subhead is one of the worst lines in a game, and that everybody repeats, is the one character yelling, "It's just a prank, Han," as the character Hannah runs away from the cabin. And yeah, so they're trying to make it a little more updated, modernize it. They reworked the prologue, apparently, and according to this, made adjustments to its narrative pacing. Okay, yeah, and I guess the sisters, they're giving more time to the sisters. But yeah, this should be really interesting for any. I highly recommend for people that are just playing with friends that don't really play video games and stuff. This is a good game to play because there's recognizable faces in it. Hayden Panettiere is in there. Rami Malek, who did this before. The Queen movie and stuff like that. Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and people recognize things and probably can get into it a lot better. Yeah, I do have a closet full of red coats. They just have a P on them. Yeah, so got your horror games for October there. If anybody wants to try it out. Next up, the sad story. It's what I will say here. Is the sentence I'm going to utter sounds terrible because people still lost their jobs. But I think it's really, really sad and really disheartening to myself that the first thing I thought of when I saw this headline was, oh, it's only 45 jobs. That's where we're at in this industry. That a happy thought in my head was that it was only 45 jobs. And that's sad. It's still people losing their jobs. And, you know, I guess that final sentence in that first paragraph, those affected will receive severance, no duh, and career assistance, and they haven't revealed what that means, career assistance, but at least it's something. But the staff is from the Assassin's Creed, I almost thought it was Assassin's Creed developers, but just their publisher stuff in San Francisco and Cary, North Carolina. So, still got some layoffs going on and stuff, even with the positive news of Tango Gameworks. But I really just wanted to point this out because the little bit of guilt I felt in my heart when the first thought in my head was, oh, it's just 45. Is really sad. It made me actually feel bad for a little bit. It was just like, that is not how we should be treating these. Any amount of layoffs is bad. But at least they seem to be helping the people more than just giving them money. And better those fuckers at GameStop did for Game Informer. So, yeah. Moving on. This is another... I might talk about this a little bit longer than I anticipated, but... I don't know... I hate that our society is at the point where... let me just read the headline, and then all my pausing will make sense. So, actress Caitlin Dever, who has been cast as Abby in The Last of Us for The Last of Us second season, which those of us who played Last of Us 2 know who Abby is and know the reason why. HBO gave her more security while she was walking around due to the toxicity surrounding her character. And like that subhead says, there are so many strange people in the world, and I don't get it. Like, I get she killed your favorite character in a video game. Spoilers, sorry, game's been out a while. I get it. I get that. I think I could go either way on it. I can see how you can still have just as good of an impact of a game if that doesn't happen in the beginning, and how that happening in the beginning is the best thing because it allows you to play the rest of the game without thinking about that person. Well, you're thinking about them because you're remembering them and being upset about it. I think the big mistake that Naughty Dog made in the game is that sorry, Game Ball Cat decided to try to jump here, but she mistimed her jump. So that was what that screeching was. So anyway, the one thing Naughty Dog did poorly in this game, and I hope the series rectifies it, I hope Neil Druckmann has figured it out, is that you can't do the split. Like, you can't do half with one character, half with the other character, and then have them sort of come together at the end. You have to interweave it more for television and in general, because I think even in the game it would have worked better if you bounce back and forth. and, which would have extended the main scene. Like, if you would have learned a little bit more about the pre-getting to Jackson stuff that Abby did before the big event that happens in Jackson happens, if that happens at, say, game's 30 hours long, if that big moment happens at hour 15, and you've had more time to stay with the characters in Jackson, all of them, for longer, you might not have had as big of a backlash. It's the thing happened very early that got all the backlash, so I hope, I said, and this is my last word on it, and it's sad that she has to get extra security because people can't separate fiction from reality. So I don't know if for the series, I think I know what they're going to do. I think they're going to do the thing I just said where they're sort of interweaving the two stories, and they're going to end season 2 with the big event. Because you want the actor playing that character to be there for the whole season. And then you can build season 3 without that person. So I think that's what they're doing with this. I hope that's what they're doing, because they're either going to do one of two things. And everybody that's played the game knows what I'm talking about in all these instances. They're either going to have to do it in the very, very first episode or the season finale. There is no other point in the season where you can have this event happen and it had the same shock value. Like, not shock value, like emotional impact. Either needs to be very early or very late, and you can't do it midway. Midway will ruin it. So, hopefully for the series, that is what we get. Who knows? But this story is very, very sad that she needed extra security because people can't tell that the character Abby is not a real person and this is just an actor playing Abby. It's very sad. But I did want to give my piece on Last of Us 2 stuff. All right. Next up, in funny news.
The opposite.
Borderlands bombed at the box office. Not shocked at all. I might still go see it this weekend. Using my movie pass. Not spending my actual money on it. But it pulled in just $8.8 million in its opening weekend. Borderlands budget was about $115 million. It pulled in under $10 million on opening weekend. Like, whoo. People are blaming it on the negative reviews and word of mouth, and that's what reviews are supposed to do. It's supposed to not let bad movies make money, essentially. Maybe this will find a second life on streaming, and people will be like, Borderlands wasn't that bad. Like the idiots that think Phantom Menace is a good movie. Just thought I'd let that sit there. It's just the main problem, I haven't even seen Borderlands yet. The main problem that I see just looking at this from the outside, not really reading many of the reviews, not really seeing, what people are saying about it and stuff in terms of why it's bad. But I think the main thing is I'm pretty sure it's a PG-13 movie. And Borderlands needs to be an R to be Borderlands. It needs an R rating for gore, violence, language. It needs an R. It's why Logan works, and Logan could not work as a PG-13 movie. It's why Deadpool works. It's why all of those movies that need that work as R-rated but would not work at PG-13. And I think that was the issue with this. And it's just not surprising at all. Not in the least bit. And as you see on here, if you're watching this live, it got 16. I didn't say they were the same thing, Jonathan. I am just saying that things need an R rating. Would Borderlands with an R rating be good? Who knows? Probably not. They cast it poorly anyway. As much as I like Cate Blanchett, and, you know, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis is in it? I'm not entirely sure. I forget. But the cast was pretty bad choice. And Eli Roth, I never really liked any of his stuff. So, not surprised that this is not any good. But I'm saying to give it its best shot, it needed to be an R. It needed an R. And it probably still would have tanked. It's got like a 6% Rotten Tomatoes. It's pretty ridiculous. But yeah, I'm still going to go see it, so I might have a report. I may not see it. I don't know. I just got to see what I'm doing Saturday, like, if it has a morning showing. That's the only comparison I'm making between it and Logan. Like, Logan doesn't work as a PG-13 movie. It will work a lot better than Borderlands did as a PG-13 movie. But the R is necessary for some movies, and I think they just got scared and didn't do it. So it needed the R. So, yeah, that's a little spiel on that. And finally, I got two stories here. One's just a fun thing that I saw on the internet. Why is this not loading? This one page has been really shitty for me. All day. Let me reload it again. Nope, it's not giving me the text at all. Oh, no, it's all the way down here. Never mind. The August lineup for PlayStation Plus games: Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt, the Time Splitters Trilogy, Cult of the Lamb, and more. So if you do have PlayStation Plus, you will be getting a lot of really good games on there for free. So I like to point this stuff out. You probably can already get this stuff. Or it comes out this Tuesday, one or the other. I would imagine 14th. Yeah, this will be Tuesday if it hasn't come out already. So yeah. So if you were looking for those games, and the Doom Anthology has 6 Doom games, and then this Dog Secret Agent game, which is Parkour, which is a game I was just intrigued by reading that sentence. So, this is it. And final story, not video game related, but I just had to mention it. So, this Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield movie put out this photo, and I noticed it immediately, and I'm glad the internet noticed it, and I'm pretty sure the people that made the movie knew it, because there is this isn't a mistake, and nobody can say they didn't know that this horse was in the photo. Look at that horse. That is a perfectly cropped photo to have that horse in that photo. Look at that fucking horse. Sorry for the audio listeners. Go find the story, or go find the tweet from Film Crave that is showing Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield in We Live in Time, and just look at that fucking horse. That is amazing. Kudos to whoever noticed that was in the shot and decided to take a still of it and put it on there. This is great. It won't make me see this movie unless this movie gets like really good reviews. Even though I love both actors. It could be a Movie Pass movie if it gets good ratings, good reviews. But just one final time, for those of you watching live on Twitch or watching the YouTube broadcast, look at that fucking horse. That horse is going to be in a million memes, if not already. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's go back to Big Mark. Hi, Big Mark. Thank you for joining me. Been fun as always. We still somehow made it to 50 minutes, even without much going on. God help me when news stories start coming out in September and October. How long this is going to get. So, yeah, final housekeeping before we leave. For those of you watching live, we'll be back tomorrow with Persona 3. Sunday for Nier. Monday for Donkey Kong Country. We may have a surprise Thursday stream. It's either going to be this Thursday or next Thursday. Still trying to decide. And then we'll be back for the News Hour on Friday. Other things, we should have an Extra Life announcement probably after Labor Day. Like I said, I think it's all going to be virtual. Would be my anticipation. If we somehow are able, with kids and stuff like that, still able to get together for one, that'll be awesome. But I already have some plans for what I want to do if I'm doing a solo, like 12 to 18 hour stream. I think we can have some fun with it. We'll figure out some stuff. I'm sure Jem would like to, if not jump on and stream, jump on and at least be in Discord with me while we're going ahead and doing this. Tom will definitely either stream something or be with me on Discord. Not sure what Night Duck will do. Jonathan will probably want to be around as well. Jonathan can stream. We'll figure it out. We might do it over the whole weekend or whatever, but I know I want to do one big day by myself. Yeah, I don't know if we'll raise as much money as we have in the past, just because normally Jen pulls in her people, and I don't know with her hiatus if the word will get out to them as well as it used to in the past. So we're going to have a modest goal this year, but I think this year will just be more for fun. Just have some fun with it. We did our big years of raising a lot of money for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and now I just want to game with you guys for a long period of time. So we'll have an announcement after Labor Day. Once we, it'll probably be when I'll probably want to discuss with everyone. This is more for Jonathan. Out there next time we're sort of together. Even if it's in pieces together. Just sort of figure out the logistics, because I know Anthony's probably definitely out, but we'll see how everyone else is. So be on the lookout for that. And hopefully for those of you watching live, I'll see you tomorrow. For those of you listening to the podcast or watching the YouTube version, I will see you tonight for Donkey Kong Country, and hopefully I do not die and need to repeat these levels next week. I will be kind of angry. I don't usually get angry, but I would be kind of angry if that happens again. I might use save states if that happens. And I do not want to use save states because I want to beat the game as is. But I will not repeat the same 5 levels 3 weeks in a row. For 4 weeks in a row, because we would do it. I wouldn't do same states this time. But, so thank you guys for joining me. I will gladly be a quitter if it's 3 weeks in a row of playing the same levels. Thank you for joining me. Night Duck, Metal Militia, as always. And we'll see you next time. Bye!